Okay, it's time to do a little port scanning. Okay, so just a healthy reminder here for us. Back in our very first course in this pen testing series, we built up our virtual machines. And I just wanted to put up a real quick post-it note here so you can recall the different machines that, or I should say the IP addresses of the different machines that we fired up. You'll notice that we went in increments of 5. So we have, again, our Server 2016 box at .5. Server 2019 box at .10, our Windows 10 box at 15, and so on and so on. You may want to make a note of this, especially throughout the series, so that we know which machines we're targeting here. Okay, let's move this out of the way. Okay, as far as port scanning is concerned, Nmap will actually go through and determine which TCP and UDP ports on a particular target that are open or that's listening. Now, port scanning itself can be used in any number of different techniques. But as we've already talked about, one of the most common ways or straightforward ways is to make a connection using our three-way handshake. And then once that connection is made, the scanner then sends a TCP reset to the target to kill the connection. The scanner is going to log that connection and move on to the next port. Now, as we saw previously also, some ports are more specific to different operating systems as well as services. For example, port 53 would be something that would lead me down the DNS road. So if I was to just type in here Nmap and then the IP address of a target, I'm going to go after that Metasploitable box, and that was 192.168.0.25, and not specify any type of ports to be utilized. It's going to scan all the ports, which could take a while. So I'm going to back up here and let's put in a just hyphen and a small p, and specify maybe ports 1 through 200. I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to just quickly go through and scan those first 200 ports. And you can see here, I got my results back. I can see some telnet, some SMTP, domain going on. That's DNS for us, RPC bind. We also have some net BIOS. We can also go through, we talked about this in the previous clip, about specifying the top ports, and then I can put in a number here. So let's take a look at the first 2,000 ports. I'm going to delete that other entry there here, and let's hit enter. And so there are the first 2,000 ports, or the top ports. And these are mostly dedicated or linked to certain services. Now, if by chance you want to scan all 65,535 ports, you can just do an Nmap -p with another hyphen at the end of it, and then the IP address, 192.168.0.25. Don't know if I'm going to get much more than what we've already seen here, but let's just take a look here. That Metasploitable box is pretty vulnerable. So, yep, looked like it picked up a couple more ports here for us. So those are all the ports out of those 65,535 ports that are currently opened. Now we can also scan not just with a single IP address, but a range of IPs. So we know from our previous discovery scan that we have machines running at every 5, right? .5, .10, .15, .20. Now, not all of them are active. I know that 30 is this particular box. If I do an if config, you'll notice that, again, .30 is this particular box, and 35 and 40 were our other workstations that were not currently running. So what I can do is do an Nmap space, and let's see, let's do our top ports 2000, and then we specify our IP address range. So we're going to go 0.5 and just do a dash, and we're going to end this out at 25. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to get back a plethora of information here. So it shows several systems being up, and it goes through and shows me the different ports for each of those systems. Kind of cool, huh? Now, I mentioned to you earlier that there's another feature or a GUI interface for Nmap. I want to show that to you here. I'm going to clear out this screen, and I'm just going to type in Nmap. This is the GUI interface. It does everything that Nmap does. I'm going to make this biggie size. You just put up here the target. So I'd do a 192.168.0. Let's do that 25 system again. And it has different profiles. We can do an intensive scan. We can do a quick ping. We can do a quick scan. Each one of these are different profiles that come with Nmap. And these are based off of the speed that we want to be able to hit our targets. Sometimes hitting them too fast and too hard will trigger IDS systems. You'll notice down here, this is the actual command that will be executed. So let me do this. We'll change this to a quick scan. The T4 is the speed in which we're going to go after the target, or how fast Nmap is going to hit each of the targets. So, you know what, let's do this. Let's go 5 through 25. And we're going to go ahead and hit scan. We're going to get a similar output here. But here's what's kind of cool. Remember how I told you about the documentation side of things? So here are the different systems. We can see the different outputs, how they responded when we did the Nmap against them. We can also come over here to the ports of each of the hosts. So you'll notice that 5 has the following ports open. So does 10, 15, but 20 has additional ports open. Again, remember, 20 is our OWASP BWA server, and our Metasploit server is right here on 25. Those first 3 are our Windows boxes. You can also come in and look at the typology. It starts to draw out our map for us, but we'll talk about that more a little bit later on. I just love using this particular tool because it kind of will also help you in learning different options and features of Nmap. Okay, enough of this. Let's move on.